GameGoddessFee here. I am back tonight with more Ace Attorney. I hope you all are having a wonderful Tuesday. And I have my boy. Alright, so yeah, we're gonna do this trial. So see what this is all about. Y'all boy Darian, he just done turned into a whole new person, has he? What you think, Plum? But we will see. I hope you all enjoy. Thank you for watching. Make sure you give me a thumbs up. I'd appreciate it. Where's my hair going? Hold on. Anyway.
I think it's Prosecutor Gavin. I think he did it.
Prosecutor Gavin with Dave Stanfield. What's going on? Cool. I made it at the beginning. Yes, you did. You're right on time. Now tell my brother to get on too. So. You're right. I'm like, where he at? Anyway. Alright, so we're going to do this trial day, you guys. So, I guess we can get started. We got Apollo Justice Ace Attorney, Episode 3. Turnabout Serenade Trial, Day 2. Alright, so you ready, Plum?
No. Turnabout Serenade. Why you say it like that?
Serenade.
Serenade.
Really?
It's just one word. It's Serenade.
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 Okay, let's go.
Where do Y come from? Serenade.
I'm sure he will. Of course, he's still struggling. Oh, he's still thugging right now. Yeah, he living that thug life. So.
That's a fugitive y'all got up there.
He living that thug life.
You gonna be in one of these courtrooms.
One of the original gangsters. All right, July 10th, 9:49 a.m. District Court. Defendant lobby number 2. Well, this is it.
Today's the day it all goes down. And then there was yesterday. This meeting is over. Sorry. Just give us 5 more minutes. We can call him back after that. Sorry, no go. Come on, piano boy. We're leaving.
Darian, wait.
I never liked you. Either of you. Huh?
Oh man, we were so close. He was about to tell us. Hey, Apollo.
He didn't want us to hear what Makai had to say. And I think I know why. Time to bring down a little justice.
They shooting?
What was that? He is heard but unseen.
Who's that talking?
Valid Grammary! I exclaimed as he walked in through the door, normally.
You weren't the witness today, are you, Uncle Valid?
A preposterous preposition. How could I stand to stand upon the stand? Why, my secrets would be free for the plucking. I might even have to sign autographs. That is why I intend to remain hidden for the entire day.
Ooh, with vanishing magic.
Indeed! I will jump upon an express train and express myself to the next town over. But before I go, a word of warning.
Warning? What?
A grand grammary glamour resides at the root of all that has happened. Do not forget this truth. A glamour? A spell, a sorcery, a great illusion. Miss Trucy, though it pains me to part so, I need to get in line for a ticket. Farewell!
He disappeared fast. And there he goes.
He sure seemed happy about that illusion thing.
Oh, big illusions are the bread and butter of a magician. You can't pull off a show without one. The big illusion is always a spectacle to remember. Usually it involves cutting up things like people or the Eiffel Tower, anything really.
So he was talking about what we saw at the concert.
The Marora's disappearing act.
And Prosecutor Gavin's exploding guitar.
I wonder what he meant by it being at the root of all that has happened.
Well, it's about time. Shall we go?
Is it me or... excuse me, sir.
Yes?
The scheduled starting time for the trial has been changed. The trial will not be commencing until 10:30 a.m. Sorry for the inconvenience.
Huh? Did something happen? This is a first.
It was by the judge's request, some urgent personal business.
Great. I bet he stayed up too late last night, watching courtroom dramas.
Apparently, he's visiting the hospital again.
The hospital?
I believe it was mentioned that the Chief Justice's son is unwell. Apparently, his condition worsened considerably this morning.
The Chief Justice's son?
Oh, that's right. Remember yesterday morning the judge said he had to go visit him after the trial? There's an article about it in the newspaper. If you care to read about it yourself. Newspaper article added to the court record. Article about the Chief Justice's son who is afflicted with enteritis.
Enteritis? Where have I heard that before?
I'll let you read that article for us, Apollo. Just leave the TV Guide page to me.
Try not to lose the page with the funnies if you can.
Can we read it?
Yes, we can.
Let me see.
Yes, we can. Yes, we can.
Disease strikes closer to home than ever before.
Oh my
Is
God.
That,
it's COVID. It's COVID.
Right. COVID shut everything down. Is that what that thing is supposed to cure? What they were smuggling in the country?
I'm not giving you spoilers. Wait, did they confirm it already?
That's what they said.
Okay, never mind.
Now I just remembered.
Yeah.
I'm like, cause I was thinking just now, like, where did we hear that from?
Enteritis.
Oh, how you get out of here, B? July 10th, 10:30 a.m. District Court, courtroom number 3. My apologies for the delay. Court is now in session for the trial of, how do you say this name again?
Makai Tabaye, a suspect for dismissal. Whatever he said.
Right, it's his trial in any case.
The defense is prepared, Your Honor. The prosecution is ready to rock. Is something wrong, Your Honor?
No, well, yes. It's just I've been friends with the Chief Justice since we were students. It pains me to see him going through such a difficult time. Enteritis, was it? That article said there is no known cure.
Here, Judge, let me say, with all honesty, I feel your pain. But now is not the time for tears. Now is the time for law.
Indeed. We left off at quite the juncture yesterday.
Ask Interpol about that number. IPXX314206. The agent registered under this number was Romain Latouche.
Thanks for looking into that for us, Detective Crescent. It's a great help.
Oh, no problem at all, Your Honor. I'll be heading out.
Hold it! Wait, that voice just now. It was him. I am sure of it. It was him. That voice I heard talking to Mr. Latouche when I heard the gunshots fire. It was him. It was Mr. Darien.
No way. Quite a sensational ending. Who would have thought Darien would guest during the season cliffhanger as a suspect?
I asked the prosecution to look into this matter. Please tell the court your findings.
Darien Crescent is a member of my band, the Governors. He is also a detective, making the current charges serious indeed. Yet, after investigation, I have found no cause to alter our case or file new charges. And your reason is? Weren't you aware of Forehead? He has an impeccable alibi.
An alibi? What's up, Granddaddy Otaku? How's it going tonight?
Let's review the facts again, shall we? The concert held on the night of the shooting was in 3 sets. The Governors ripped up the stage during the first set. For the second set, our guest took center stage. The only performers appearing were myself, Lemuroy, and Makai, along with the drummer and bassist, for a total of 5. The shooting in the dressing room, however, took place during the third set. Lemuroy and the defendant, Makai Tabaye, had left the stage at that point, and the Governors were already rocking. This is when 2 shots rang out at the scene of the crime. Shots heard by Detective Emma Sky, mind you.
Oh, we good. Just sitting here playing this game. That's about it. Had a good day today, I guess. And of course, I'm on mandatory overtime tomorrow, so yeah, we'll see. And Apollo, you heard them too, right?
I sure did. Furthermore, Lemuroy herself witnessed the moment of the crime. Well, perhaps I should say she heard the moment of the crime, when she claims to have heard Mr. Latus and Detective Crescent talking.
But that's impossible. Detective Crescent was...
Precisely. Detective Crescent was on stage getting his groove on, no less. Voila! A perfect alibi!
Voila.
Voila! Voila! I can't say the word.
Voila.
I hate how he talks, bro. He always throwing in these random words. Voila! Voila!
Really? Okay. Where is Emma? I guess she already done.
He at home eating them chocolates.
Does the defense have anything to add to this?
It's true. When I heard those gunshots, he must have been on stage. Still, there's something here that doesn't quite add up.
It appears that the defense has no objections. I believe we can safely say that Darien Crescent's alibi has been acknowledged.
Which means that Lemuroy was sadly mistaken. Her testimony cannot be true.
Very well. Of course, if we disregard her testimony, then I see no evidence keeping us from declaring a verdict. If indeed there are no objections... Apollo! If he declares a verdict now...
Ugh, but Prosecutor Gavin's case is airtight. Lemuroy might have been fibbing to protect Makai. How can I rely on her testimony? Wait, what about yesterday in the detention center?
About the case? What about the case?
He wants to tell us about Mr. Latus's death? But this meeting's over.
Darien!
Makai was trying to tell us something. I know it! Maybe the best thing to do is ask him, under oath.
Very well, the court finds the defendant, what was his name again?
Objection! Your Honor!
No, that wasn't it. It was something like Marquise or Mr. Justice.
Your Honor, before you declare a verdict, I would like to call another witness. Exactly who else do you need to hear from? A witness who, until now, has not been given a chance to speak in this court. because he doesn't speak English. You don't mean. I do. The defense calls defendant Makai Tabaye to the stand.
What? But he doesn't speak English.
We'll use an interpreter. Interpreter? I'm afraid you'll have to look elsewhere. I only speak a few phrases, such as, I love you, and where's the toilet? The defense would like to request Le Miroir as the interpreter.
Le Miroir? But there's a possibility she's protecting the defendant.
But she'd be interpreting for the defendant. Why would she fib?
This is most unusual.
Bravo, Air Forehead. Air Judge, the prosecution agrees with the defense's request. If Le Miroir fibs, I'll be able to tell. Even my limited knowledge of the language should be enough for that.
Well, if both prosecution and defense are for this, I see little cause for refusal.
Finally, some progress!
Bailiff, please show the defendant and Le Miroir to the witness stand.
I suppose there's a first time for everything. Shall we proceed? Your name, to begin with, if you would, Le Miroir.
Yes. He says Makai Tabaye, the defendant. This court is certainly a first for this courtroom. Not that we really needed an interpretation of that message in particular.
So far, so good.
Very well, Mr. Justice, if you would.
Huh? If I would what, Your Honor?
What? You called the defendant to the stand, did you not? What would you have him testify about?
What do I want him to testify about? Ugh, I hadn't thought that for yet.
Apollo, weren't you going to ask him what he was about to tell us yesterday?
How can I if I don't know what he was saying?
Excuse me a moment, if I might speak. Yes, Le Miroir? Just now, Makai said there is something about which he wishes to testify.
Makai wants to testify about something? What could it be?
What sort of testimony is he talking about? One moment, please.
Ugh, the suspense is killing me.
What?
What?
Well, Le Miroir? Le Miroir?
What? Le Miroir?
No, I don't know how to pronounce her name sometimes. According to Makai, he has proof of his innocence. You said fibs. What?
This is a surprise.
Yahoo! Victory, Apollo! We did it!
This is sounding too good to believe, and I know what that usually means.
Well, if that's true, then this is a vital testimony. Le Miroir, Makai, please testify to the court. Very well. Witness testimony. Proof of innocence. He says that word of Mr. Latusa's death came as a great shock. But if the killing truly followed the lyrics of my song, he could not have done it. He says that because the lyrics are in English, he does not understand them. I see. He wouldn't have understood the English lyrics to the song. That would prevent him from following them so closely.
I wonder what he meant by proof. Why, he would only have to ask Le Miroir to know the meaning of that song. Le Miroir! Did you ever explain the lyrics of that song to him?
I did tell him generally what the song was about, but never in so much detail, and he never asked.
Has my oft-repeated warning already fled that forehead? Le Miroir might be protecting the witness.
Well, anyway, let us proceed with the cross-examination. Mr. Justice, if you would.
Yes, Your Honor. Something's hidden in that testimony. I know it. I'll just have to trust my bracelet to tell me where. It worked yesterday. It'll work today. His bracelet.
Cross-examination. Proof of innocence. He says that word of Mr. Latous's death came as a great shock.
Were Makai and Mr. Latouche close?
Yes, after we traveled around the world on tour together.
Roy, this is Makai's cross-examination, not yours.
But I knew the answer.
This is a court of law. We'll play by the book.
I understand. When Prosecutor Gavin's tough, he really's tough.
He really tough. He really tough.
Makai says he was very good friends with Mr. Latouche. Apollo is guilty.
Yeah.
Mr. Latouche was always a gentle man, never angry. We got along quite well. I never dreamed something like this would happen. But if the killing truly followed the lyrics of my song...
Guitar Serenade, correct?
Yes, the crime followed the lyrics of the song. The death of the keyring, the burning guitar, and the bullet. This is why it could not have been me. And that is he.
Thou, thus.
Could have not done it. Anyway.
I could not have done it. You mean?
They try to say it was the guitar or the drummer, but we'll see. It is very simple. Makai could not have done all the things that happened that day. For all those things followed the song lyrics closely.
Also because he's short.
He says that because the lyrics are in English, he does not understand them.
Wouldn't it be difficult for him to perform without knowing the meaning of the lyrics?
He did know what the song was about, its mood, shall we say. This was enough to play by. I told him it was a song about a guitar in love.
Yes, not actually the guitar that's in love, strictly speaking.
Oh, perhaps I misunderstood.
No, not really. Yours is also a valid interpretation. Okay.
No, it's my fault. I am too used to singing in Bulgarian. It is much easier than trying to understand these English lyrics. Yay, I knew he was innocent.
I believe he is too, Trucy. I do.
What's wrong, Apollo? You got a tummy ache or something?
Something's hidden in that testimony. If it's the truth, I'll find it! Alright, you gotta use your special bracelet.
Wow, let me see. What's going on here?
Your bracelet. Click on the sus statement.
I don't see him. Are we looking for him or Lemore?
Him.
He just sitting there.
He has several different facial expressions. That's sad. That's happy. That's happy.
Really?
That's his happy face. That's sad. That's him looking
Whatever.
angry. He looks like he's kind of disappointed right here. Yeah, I'm for real.
Whatever.
Look at his face. It's so easy to tell.
This dude ain't changed.
He's changed his
face. He haven't changed his expression. Whatever.
He's crying a little bit. Like, look at that.
I think he knows who the killer is. You talking about the Makai? Which one is it?
It's the fourth one.
Is it something Lemore doing?
No.
He says that because the lyrics are in English, he does not understand them. Let me see.
Did she forget? Did you forget?
I think Makai knows it's Apollo. Let me see.
You have to use your special bracelet.
Oh.
Yes, your special attorney bracelet that gives you not guilty verdicts for free.
Who are we looking at? He says that because the lyrics.
You literally missed it when it happened. I'm so sad.
It's up in here.
Yes.
Let's do it again.
This kid a demon, bro. He don't blink.
I don't see him doing anything. Ah, I see it now. I see it. I saw it.
Gotcha!
He moved his eyes.
Makai! You can't trick my eyes. You glanced toward her the moment Lemiror said the word English. Why? And don't bother interpreting that. He understands me.
He said, gotcha. It's Apollo.
Makai, tell the truth. You can understand English, can't you?
What are you saying? Of course he can't.
So Must he continue the charade?
Mr. Justin, Makai says this. I know the word English.
Huh?
Before coming to this country, he heard me speaking English. He learned the name for this language, that is all.
What? Give me a break!
Is that such an unusual word to understand? Do you not know Espanol, for instance?
Well, yeah, but...
I am sorry, but he truly does not understand your language.
Well, then explain this!
So, my lady, you should consider a career in voiceovers. You're pretty good.
I'm actually garbage. I don't know why you keep saying that.
See, you always get complimented.
I just put a little in my voice when I talk. That's literally it. That's the whole
That
difference.
is a career, ain't it, Dave?
No.
That's a career. Anyway, it is a career.
How does he know the crime followed the lyrics?
Have you always been such a suspicious-minded lad? It is simple, so simple it hardly requires an explanation. You read about it in the newspaper. If you need references, I know people.
You know people?
Hey.
Can you get me to voice act Goku?
He's so silly. Goku, huh?
The newspaper?
The Bulgarian Daily Bugle. You can buy it in this country these days, you know? They have already begun to report about this case in our homeland.
I was right!
What is wrong, Mr. Justice? Your eyes, they are quite fierce all of a sudden.
Makai is fibbing! Maybe it's time to show them proof that he's fibbing. Spider-Man doesn't exist in this universe.
You see the voice actor, the $4.99 at Walmart.
Oh yeah, I got you. That's me.
There you go. Oops, hold on, what am I doing? Maybe it's time to show them proof that he's fibbing about what? Or about she's, hold on. Talking about this?
Yes. Can you read that? I can read that.
Can you read it?
Yeah, the top line says, "This is Lemiror, top singer of the country, and
Really?
she's coming to town. She's coming here to perform for you. If you know the lyrics, you can join in to put your hands together." I have here a Bulgarian newspaper, the Bulgarian Daily Bugle, as a matter of fact. Indeed, there's a feature article about the case. Could you read this for me, Makai?
Yeah, it's definitely a career. I told him that. You can do voiceovers and or whatever, even voice acting.
I'm so good. That's right. It doesn't mention the lyrics.
What is this all about?
I'm sorry, Makai. You couldn't have read about the lyrics in a Borginian newspaper.
Uh-oh. What does this mean? But I don't see how it's possible. Ah, I know. He must have heard the lyrics when the police were doing their questioning, yes.
Not possible. The subject of the lyric was not brought up in police questioning. I read the full report myself. So, the lyrics weren't in the newspaper and the police didn't mention them. The only place you could have heard them was in the courtroom. In English, no less.
The witness will explain himself. The guy says, he says, yes, it is true. I don't know how you just what I said.
It's true. I read the newspaper.
It is true. I read the newspaper, but this is not where I learned of the lyrics. I was mistaken. Now I remember.
You remember?
He says he heard of the lyrics from me.
What? Dr. Seuss.
Is this true, Lemuroar? Yes, I'm afraid I had forgotten it myself.
Then it looks like your forehead's been jumping to conclusions again.
It seems so, yes.
No! No! I was onto something! I know it! I can't let this chance slip away!
This time is an issue today, Mr. Justice. Are you finished with the cross-examination? What are you going to do, Apollo?
If I'm gonna keep on cross-examining, I'd better have an angle of attack. Or else! My bracelet's still reacting! Your Honor, please allow me to continue!
Yes, you must. Very well, witness. I understand. Is this new?
Yes.
It was I who explained that crime followed the song. That the crime followed the song.
That the crime? Exactly how much did you explain to Makai?
This is a question for me, yes.
This interpretation thing is getting old fast.
I told him that Mr. Latouche had been killed and why he was a suspect. And I told him the crimes of that day followed my song.
Did you mention any particular words of the song relating to the case, such as horse?
Yes, of course I explained this. He was quite surprised. Yay, I knew he was innocent.
We already read this, Trucy. Also, yup, you're right. Apollo will say, he will say, you thought the handkerchief was blue, but it was actually red, and then they have a mental breakdown, understand, and then confess all their crimes.
Let me see.
You thought it said 46, but it actually said 45.
Should I proceed? He said his thing was still reacting. Let me see.
Yup, his special magic bracelet.
It was I who explained that the crime followed the song. I didn't see anything.
Nope.
Is it Lemura?
Maybe.
I can't put it on her.
Yes,
there
you
go.
can.
I don't see her doing anything. What's she doing?
That's such a shame, bro. How did you catch it last time?
And I forgot.
You all forgot.
Oh.
What? Let me roar. I'm currently cross-examination. Oh my god. I'm currently cross-examining Makai. Why should you be uncertain?
Me? Uncertain?
Yes, you swallowed the very moment you told the court. It was I who explained.
I see there is a little point in trying to hide anything from you.
Let me roar. Are you indeed protecting someone?
That is not a question with a simple answer. To tell the truth, I do not believe it myself.
Then allow me to answer for you. Let me roar. You're protecting. Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney.
He protected Pearls.
Phoenix Wright, Slide Master.
Makai?
Makai. Let me roar. You're protecting Makai. That's why you fibbed and told the court you had explained how to... What? Okay, I forgot. That's why you fibbed and told us that you had explained how the crime followed the sun. Why is that such a hard sentence? I don't fault you for trying to help, but this is not the way! Makai, I believe you didn't do it. Really, I trust you. But you fibbed to us twice. And now you have Lemore fibbing on your behalf. If this is gonna work, you have to trust me too. Your two fibs cover a simple truth. You understand English. You have to! Ah!
Uh-oh. Witness, is this true? Do you understand English?
Yes, a little, only.
With his pants. What?
First he could see, now he can talk. And you did not know about this, Leroy?
No, I did not. It's a quite a surprise. How many secrets is this witness hiding?
This is last. Makai, could you tell us what really happened? No shooting! I did no shooting! So, you weren't in the dressing room when I heard those 2 gunshots, correct? Apparently, the answer to that question isn't simple either. I was in dressing room, behind desk, manager, he on the floor. Which would be after the shooting, right? Then there's voice.
Voice of voices? Was it you and Emma, Apollo?
So when Makai went to the dressing room, Mr. Latus had already been shot. And then we came to the door. Panel, high up. I take it off. Run away! Run away! So it was you who escaped through that air vent! As the prosecution is upheld all along, no less. The defendant has admitted to being at the scene. Might we take this as a confession? Objection! No! He's clearly denied that he did it! I no shooting! Manager on floor! Already on floor! Objection! The victim had already been shot, you say? I find that hard to believe. The defendant understood the Sun lyrics. He was at the scene of the crime. This can only mean one thing. He is the shooter!
Does the defendant have anything to say to this? He's clamped up, Apollo. Then let's ask Mr. Justice. Will you require any further testimony from the witness?
Is that it? Is there nothing else I can get him to testify about? Wait. No, of course there is!
What is this cocoon anyway?
Come somewhere now.
The cocoon, the silk, is a potent cure. A cure? Well, Makai, are you a smuggler? He won't tell me.
That cocoon has to have something to do with this! Makai, please, tell us the truth for your own sake! No, No more speak. Not to any of you. So much for your precious trust there, forehead. Hey, you were the one who didn't believe him! Regardless, this brings us to an impasse.
It does seem that the defense and defendant are at odds. I doubt we are likely to learn anything more of value should this continue. I see no other course but to declare a 5-minute recess. The defense will work things out with the defendant so that we might proceed.
Oof.
What they doing?
They looked at that picture.
July 10, 11:23 a.m. District Court Defendant Lobby Number 2.
Apollo Eustace. That's justice. Better learn how to say it if you ever want to get some. Relief. I know shooting. Mackay claims Mr. Latus was already down on the ground when he enters the room.
Maybe it was a trap and he walked right into it.
Suddenly, I hear revolver. Close. Very close. Then I hear a voice. You heard gunshots? Yes, it's true. I heard revolver, but only sound. Wait, you're saying you went into the dressing room? And found Mr. Latus already dead, and then you heard shots? If that's true...
So, you were at the scene of the crime when you heard those shots?
And you escaped through the air vent. I know.
Huh? What do you know?
I know of opening vent. I can leave stage and backstage. So the vents went to both the stage and the backstage area? Is that what he means?
Hey, he's right. Look, Apollo.
Huh? Yeah. But how'd you know it was connected like that?
So you say it's Apollo, huh?
But
Wait, I bet his father was the architect that designed the hall or something.
I heard this from Magician. Magician?
Don't look at me.
A magician, huh?
Well, at least we're clear on one thing. Makai didn't shoot Mr. Latus.
Yeah, but what does that leave us with? We're supposed to say he went into the room to find a body and then he heard the shots? That one's gonna go over well in court. Not.
Apollo, you're his defense. You're supposed to believe whatever he says, even Phipps. That's what Daddy always told me.
I'll just pretend you misheard him every time. So, what do?
You sure you won't testify, Makai?
No talking, no.
Well, it was worth a shot.
That cocoon.
I can't go home. Can't go home?
I
can't go home to Bulgaria. I do not want to go home. The penalty for taking a cocoon for Bulgaria is death. I don't know what Apollo plays.
That's right. It's punishable by death. Of course he's scared. Oh well. Guess we'll just have to try to find a different approach.
That's the spirit, Apollo. So what's your plan?
If Makai won't testify about it, we'll have to get someone else to testify.
Someone else?
I think we're out of time. Let's get back in there.
Right.
Apollo placed the little
July 10,
triangle.
11:28 a.m. District Court, courtroom number 3. The triangle.
Yep.
Court is now back in session. Mr. Justice, have you sorted things out with the defendant?
Yes, Your Honor. We had a good talk.
Very well. So will he testify?
Your Honor, the defendant will not testify.
What?
Shame. And here I thought this was your big chance to turn this case around. Actually, it is. The defense would like to approach this case from a different angle, Your Honor.
A different angle?
If Makai won't testify, then I know who will. I would like to cross-examine the witness in this case, Lemuroy.
Lemuroy?
Objection!
What are you up to now? I thought we determined yesterday that Lemuroy's testimony was insubstantial. There's nothing you can... Lemuroy was taken to the hospital yesterday with injuries.
What happened?
She was assaulted, Your Honor.
Assaulted?
Someone wanted Lemuroy dead. Thankfully, she was able to save herself. What? I've heard no such report. Prosecutor Gavin. Why would anyone be out to kill Lemuroy? Can you think of a reason? Well, think of how she is known in our country. A singer from overseas who doesn't speak English, yes. Yet someone tried to keep her mouth shut. Who could that have been?
Don't think?
I do! It was the same person who shot Mr. Latouche. The killer was afraid of her, afraid of what she might say. The defense believes that something was hidden in her testimony yesterday. Something that the killer doesn't want getting out. So, am I to understand that this is what you are saying? Namely, that there's a nugget of truth in Lemuroy's testimony? A nugget we have yet to uncover? Exactly.
If Lemuroy was attacked, has serious implications. Very well. There were some vague points in her testimony during yesterday's trial. Perhaps we did not inquire as deeply as we might have into some. The court will hear Lemuroy's testimony once more.
Okay, I might have did it. I might have just been pulling a funny. Lemuroy, I must apologize. You must actually stand again to speak.
Need not apologize. I know that Makai is innocent. And I will do all that I can until the court realizes this.
Let's review your testimony from yesterday. You told us you heard 2 gunshots and the shooter's voice through the window. And that the voice belonged to Darian Crescent, yes?
That is correct.
At which point I proved she could not be correct. She couldn't have heard any of those things. The small window at the scene was closed and was found to be quite soundproof.
You have nothing to say to that, Mr. Justice?
I don't know exactly what yet, but I do know that there's something there. There it is. It seems much you do not know. What? Okay.
And yet it is my duty to hear him out. Perhaps the witness will be so kind to testify once more to the court. Of course, Your Honor.
Why'd you murder him? It was a prank, bro.
Witness testimony. What I heard. I was also on my way from the stage to the backstage exit. That's when I heard him, Mr. Latouche and the detective. I heard the faint sound of a gunshot and stopped. Then I heard another gunshot. There was the smell of gunpowder. I knew I must tell someone, but I was in a hurry, so I kept moving past the small window. The vent was open. Perhaps she heard the voice that way. It could have happened. What you think?
I think she vented like Among Us.
Pretty much the same as yesterday's testimony. I am sorry. I am not used to speaking much in this language. Perhaps my descriptions are lacking in some way. Yet everything I have said here is the truth.
And it is my distinct pleasure to say this. What you have said to have happened is impossible. Do I have to repeat myself? Lemuroy was attacked because of this testimony. What, Trucy?
Apollo, you know, for a moment there, you were pretty cool.
Maybe I do better when I don't try to think ahead.
Very well, Mr. Justice. Perhaps you can coolly cross-examine the witness. He said Makai went through the vent to the backstage, and maybe she heard the voice that way, and the voice was obviously Apollo.
It was his course of steel.
Witness testimony. What I heard, I was on my way from the stage to the backstage exit. Did we cross-examine her yesterday about this, or should we do it again?
We can do it again.
Is something wrong?
I know I said hold it, but she's saying the same thing she said before.
Mr. Justice?
Sorry, it's nothing. Please continue with your testimony.
Now I know what they mean about the reckless youth these days.
The one in red over there is a shining example here, Judge. You're the last person who should be pointing fingers, Mr. Rockstar.
That's when I heard them, Mr. Latus and the detective.
Darian Crescent?
I did not know his name at the time, but yes, it was him, the one who took the sand yesterday.
How many times do I need to remind you that's impossible? There was no way you could have heard him. Because the window at the scene was closed? Is that why? Of course.
Apollo, if we keep asking the same questions as yesterday, we won't get anywhere.
She's right. Maybe there's a different angle I can try? Did you see a man in a red suit? Yes, you. Oh my god. I heard my click.
What are they talking about? What were they talking about? Did you hear anything else, or no need? Let me see.
What was they talking about? Was they talking about playing Fortnite? Who's the Fortnite characters?
You think you should say, did you hear anything else? Okay, let's ask that.
Did you happen to hear anything else at that time?
Anything else?
Anything else besides the victim and the shooter's conversation? Anything at all? It's quite the vague question.
Other than the conversation, I heard a clock ticking, the two men breathing footsteps. That is all.
Nothing new there, as expected. Ugh, I was hoping for a little more than that.
Perhaps we should carry on with the cross-examination. As you wish.
I heard the footsteps and the breathing.
I heard the faint sound of a gunshot and
Go
stopped.
back.
What you mean?
I do that one.
Right here?
No, the story's just out. Second statement.
I was just on that statement.
Absolutely, I told you go back.
And then do what?
That's what we get. Yes, go.
Yeah, go ahead.
We read this. Okay. You don't play 3 games of this. How you don't know how this works?
No, what were they talking about?
Yes. Let me roar. Do you by any chance remember what they were saying to each other? If so, please tell us.
I have given it much reflection, but
I was afraid of this. She doesn't remember.
I only heard one phrase clearly.
The whole phrase? You remember something that was said? Why didn't you say anything yesterday?
Though my memory is clear, I was afraid to speak. You see, I do not understand what was said.
This could be it. The clue I've been waiting for. Well, what did he say?
It was the other man speaking, not Mr. Latruse.
The shooter then. Darian Crescent.
Well, what did he say? It's over. I say it's over.
It's over. It's over. It's so over.
It's over. Press the switch now. Switch? And the shooter said this to the victim, Mr. Latus? I thought it quite strange myself afterward. It is a mystery. What could it possibly mean? Mr. Justice care to shed some light on this? What's up, Game Queen 81? How's it going?
I mean, sure. I'd be delighted. It's, very, very vital. Maybe we could add it to the testimony.
Maybe Apollo?
Maybe.
From the small window, I heard a voice say, "Press the switch now."
And it was Detective Darian Crescent's voice?
Yes, I am sure of it. It's over. Press the switch? Why would he say that to Mr. Latouche? Apollo, the murder weapon, the revolver, was Mr. Latouche's, right?
Yeah. What of it?
Well, maybe when he said press the switch, he really meant to say pull the trigger. Because his English isn't so good. Ah, you do good. You can always go back and rewatch it.
Darian Crescent is a native speaker.
Oh, right. Sorry. I kind of forgot who he was.
Press the switch. That's not something a killer usually says to their victim, is it?
Was there no one else in the room? I do not know. All I heard was Mr. Latouche and the detective.
He lost the game of Splatoon and he wanted to turn it off. He pressed the switch.
Really do. Turn off the switch, huh?
Turn off the switch now! It's over! Do you have something that looks like a switch? Can you say backpack? Can you say backpack?
Let me see.
Okay, guys, we're gonna spell it together. B.
This thing here?
Yep. I think Solid Snake did it. Press the switch. There's only one key that can unlock the mystery of those words. Oh? If there was nothing at the scene that could be called a switch, save the lights. True, there wasn't a switch at the scene. But it just so happens I have a switch right here.
That certainly does look like a switch, doesn't it?
The problem is, this was found not at the scene of the crime, but on the stage.
The stage?
Where the concert was held, yes. This was found hidden there. On the stage.
Are you claiming that the voice Lemuroy heard was of someone commanding another to press the switch?
It's a possibility. Oh, a forehead. I'd call that an impossibility. Why? It's hardly necessary for me to remind the court of the layout of the concert forum. The stage is quite far from Lemuroy's dressing room. Not to mention that the Gavners were in the middle of a concert on said stage. We aren't known for being a quiet band. You could shout all you wanted and not be heard.
The detective's voice was loud, but certainly not a shout.
So too have Air Forehead's cries of possibility fallen far short of being heard. Sorry, but he wouldn't have needed to shout. Excuse me? You heard what I said, or do you need me to shout it for you? It would have been quite simple to be heard on the stage from the dressing room. Oh, wait, you like evidence, don't you? How about this? Using this, it would have been easy to get the message to someone on stage from the dressing room.
He said that they could, they had their thing in there so that they can listen. Right here.
They had the magic headset. Prosecutor Gavin, perhaps you're familiar with this. Why that?
What is it? Is that some kind of newfangled phone they invented while I wasn't looking?
This is a type of transmitter, a communications device.
communications device?
From what I've heard, that night, everyone on stage was wearing one of these. Isn't that right, Prosecutor Gavin? Yes, actually. If we're talking between band members, we all had one on. So you admit that if you were wearing one of these, talking from the backstage to the stage would be simple.
Objection!
True, but wait, they'll send out an electronic signal. To avoid interference with the audio systems, their range is quite limited.
Lemuroy said it was about 30 feet, right?
Look at this cross-section diagram of the concert form. Exactly. The walk from the stage to the backstage seems far, but the direct distance is less than 30 feet. That can't be.
So when Lemuroy heard the shooter's voice, he could have been talking to someone on stage.
Objection!
You claiming this is the switch in question?
Right.
Why did it have to be the one on stage the whole time? It could be placed in a pocket and carried anywhere. Someone could have hid it on the stage after the fact.
Hey, he's got a point. How do we know where it was when she heard the voice? When the shooter said press the switch.
Well, I guess we don't.
Unfortunately, an unfortunate situation. I'm afraid that until we know where this switch was, there's little point in debating it.
Ugh! I was sure this was the way to go with this. What is this switch anyway? We don't even know that basic fact. Wait a second. I do know what this switch is. And if you follow that train of logic to its incredible conclusion, it ends up in proof that completely changes this case.
What's up, Apollo? Apollo!
We know about this switch, right? We know what it is.
Yeah?
Well, think of when it was used that day. Think of what happened.
Well, Mr. Justice, if you have no further information to share concerning this switch.
Your Honor!
Yes, Mr. Justice?
I've been remiss in not telling the court this before. I know what this switch is.
Well, it seems the defense is set up on linking this switch to the case. Let's see your evidence of the link. What evidence do you have to explain what this switch is?
Okay, so there's this really cool gaming company named Nintendo, and they made this game console. It's called the Nintendo Switch. Okay, so this is what the switch is.
Really?
You put the cartridge in the console, and Prosecutor Gavin, you remember this?
That what? Is it another one of those newfangled phones?
This is an igniter. What phone looks like this?
Igniter? You mean like a lighter?
Yes, actually. You weren't saying the switch is a remote. I am. This is the remote trigger for an igniter. What? Look, I'll show you.
Yo, wow, Mr. Justice, you will cease and desist for burning down this courtroom.
Sorry. That was a bit more fire than I expected.
If my whiskers had caught on fire...
Prosecutor Gavin, let me repeat myself. This switch is a remote ignite trigger. Doesn't that suggest something to you? You're talking about what happened to me, aren't you?
Ah.
Exactly. That night at the concert, there was one unusual burst of flame. When your guitar caught fire in the middle of your performance.
Was it that part of the show?
Prosecutor Gavin was entirely unaware such a thing had been planned. And the guitar that burned was a valuable keepsake.
That's right, he got a point. That's right, he got it in for Gunny and from Luminor, whatever her name is. He said the sound was amazing before it burned, of course. Now it just kind of smokes.
The better the guitar, the brighter it burns. Your forehead! Yes? Don't tell me you're trying to tie these two things together. I was being the shooter's voice heard by Luminor. And the guitar suddenly catching on fire. I am. It's really simple when you think about it. Mr. Latus and the shooter were at the crime scene. The shooter was wearing a headset. He ordered someone on stage to press the switch. The switch was pressed and the guitar caught fire.
Well, that does seem to make sense. But she wouldn't have heard him, cause she was on the stage too. Anyway.
Is that where she?
But she was singing with him.
Keep playing again.
Though something about it is bugging me. Can't quite put my finger on it.
Really? It seems pretty simple to me.
Objection!
Your forehead, don't destroy what little respect I have for you. I was expecting something a little more sensible. I guess I was wrong.
What's this all about, Mr. Prosecutor Gavin?
His simple story simply makes no sense. Think! At night, my guitar caught fire, yes. The cause may have been this indeed. However, the guitar caught fire during the second set.
That's right, of course. The guitar caught fire during the Memorial song.
Indeed, yet the shooting happened during the third set. The two were utterly unrelated.
Yes, that must have been what was bugging me. The whole premise for this is faulty.
Premise? See,
Premise, I mean,
this
whatever.
story makes no sense.
Objection!
Are you sure about that?
What exactly do you mean, Mr. Justice?
Maybe it's not the premise for my explanation of the switch that's at fault. Maybe it's our premise for the entire case so far.
What premise is this, specifically?
I'm glad you asked. I'm saying that maybe the killing didn't take place in the third act.
Objection!
What's this? But Detective Emma Sky heard shots and found the body. All of this happened in the third act.
Objection!
Gunshots rang out. And according to his testimony, Makai was in that dressing room at the time.
Where are you going with this, Mr. Justice?
Stay with me, Your Honor. He also told us this in his testimony. Namely, that the victim had already been shot. We all heard gunshots, but no one saw the shooting. This is insane. Just before the shooting took place, the shooter was heard on his headset, telling someone to press the switch. The next moment, Prosecutor Gavin's guitar burst into flame. We know that a remote triggered igniter was inside the guitar. From all these facts, we can draw only one conclusion. The crime did not take place during the third act, but during the ballet performance, the second act. What?
Order, order, order. But that goes against the evidence.
What does, Your Honor?
This crime was carried out according to the lyrics of that song, yes? He's right. Look. The bullet is supposed to come after the fire.
You're thinking about it the wrong way.
Huh?
Look. Why would the shooter craft the events of the day to follow the lyrics anyway? It's an awful lot of trouble to go through. With little merit for the person doing it.
Well, I'm sure whoever it was had some reason.
Yes, they did. A reason that made it advantageous to follow the lyrics. You're saying the order was reversed on purpose?
Reverse, Prosecutor Gavin?
If the criminal followed the lyrics strictly, then yes. The shooting would have had to come after the guitar burst into flame. Yet, our forehead has raised another possibility. He's claiming that the bullet came not after, but just before the fire. Couldn't have put it better myself. We were only meant to think that the shooting came after the guitar burst into flame. That was the criminal's objective! The crime followed the lyrics to a point, but that was the ruse! Why else would the killer risk discovery by moving the body? That was the final touch to make us think he had followed the lyrics the whole way!
Order, order, order. That will explain this most unusual situation.
It does! The killer changed the order of events to create himself an alibi! In other words, the killer was someone who had an alibi for the third set, but not the second!
Objection!
I was hoping it wouldn't come to this, but sadly it has. Let me tell you why your little fairy tale makes no sense at all. Oh, it sounds good. I'll give you that. You've given us a reason why the killer bothered following the lyrics of my song. But I question your logic, for it's flawed from the very beginning. Flawed? Yes, a contradiction there, forehead, when I pointed out several times no less. At the time of the crime, the small window at the scene was closed. How could Leroy have heard a voice through it?
She had on a headset.
Oh. I know that you would like to divert our attention from the critical fact. But you're basing your entire line of reasoning on a false premise. Right. Leroy's testimony is my entire case. That voice she heard, the shooter's voice.
What if she couldn't hear it, Apollo?
Look, what do we have? A man saying press the switch. And near the crime scene, we have a switch, which acts as a remote trigger for an igniter.
Right, she had the thing on her head, didn't she?
Yeah. And last but not least, Prosecutor Gavin's flaming guitar. It can't all be coincidence, but how do I make it work? I see a more direct line of questioning is required. When the crime scene was investigated immediately after the crime, that window was closed. Care to tell us how Leroy heard the voice?
A key point, to be sure. Mr. Justice, can you explain this to the court?
Okay, Justice, you've got one thing to prove, and one thing only. Leroy heard a voice. And she heard it during the second set. Think, how was Leroy able to hear the voice? She has divine hearing. She got it from a spirit. Because she got it from a spirit.
The window was open. She has divine hearing. She was somewhere else. She was on the stage.
Yeah, was she?
On the second set, she was on the stage with him. And she had the headset on.
You're on the right track, but not quite.
She was somewhere else?
Yes. It would seem you haven't uncovered the magician's trick.
And the window was open and then closed afterwards. Let me see. Was it?
No. When we investigated the scene, the window was closed. The shooter had no reason to close it, had it been open either. Meaning, it was impossible to hear the voice through that window. It's good to hear you making sense again. For a moment, I was afraid you might be a Borginian too. Borginian too? Whatever. As I was saying, Leroy could not hear the voice through that window. So there can be only one explanation. She heard the voice from another location entirely!
What's this?
You do amuse me so. And here I thought you and Good Sense were back on speaking terms. Now, I'm afraid you and Good Sense speak two entirely different languages. Shall I interpret for you, Air Forehead? Lemuroy clearly stated she heard the voice through that small window. And there was only one small window at the scene. Are you sure? Think about it. Isn't there another small window at the scene?
There is. That's the question. There is? I know that look. He wants us to ask him. Very well. You claim Lemuroy heard the voice from another location. Mr. Justice, show us where this location was.
Lemuroy heard the voice from here. Where's Waldo?
Let me see. There ain't no window over here.
Have you discovered the magician's trick?
Right here, is it? Didn't they say it was something in that room that goes to the stage? The open vent? Yeah, okay. Okay.
This is where Lemuroy heard that voice from.
But that's no small window. That's the air vent.
What did she tell us? She said she's Borgian and unfamiliar with our language. It's not a stretch to imagine she called this air vent a small window.
Objection!
Now you've done it. You've gone beyond ridiculous and into ludicrous. So Lemuroy was up in that ventilation system listening to this man's voice? That's the only logical explanation, yes. Logical? I do not think this word thinks what you think it means there, forehead. Okay, what about it isn't logical? It hardly merits saying. Why would Lemuroy be in the ventilation system? Hiding like a rat. No offense intended to her, of course. The explanation for that is simple, Prosecutor Gavin. Isn't it, Lemuroy?
Huh?
You have been listening to our discussion here, yes?
Yes. I admit it's had me quite confused since yesterday. Yes, the small window was closed. But why should that mean I could not hear though through it? I fear I accidentally muted. I feared our prosecutor might himself need an interpreter.
Ugh. The problem here is words. Lemuroy, the small window through which you heard the voice. Was it up high on the ceiling of the room, not low on the wall?
Yes, it was up on the ceiling.
What? Spider-Man.
Order, order. I will have order. Witness, you will clarify this statement to the court. Are you in fact saying that you are up above the ceiling of the room? And that's where you heard the moment of the crime? Yes, in fact, I was. I am sorry, I never imagined it would become such an important point.
Yes. Well, why were you up there?
I believe it's time for another testimony. I'm not sure. I can't. May I remind you, this is a murder trial. We will hear your testimony. Tell us why you witnessed the crime from above the ceiling of that room. Please.
Well, looks like I'm on the right track. This is going on long, bro.
Cross-examine. What is it? Witness testimony above the ceiling. Yes, I was above the ceiling when I heard the voice. Why are they in events? I had heard there was a small window there before. It was in the middle of my performance. I had no time to report what I had heard. As to why I was there, I cannot say. I am bound to secrecy on this matter. Ah, okay, I see what's going on. That magician, the magician had her up there.
What are you talking about?
Bound to secrecy? In my line of work, one has many obligations to uphold. But you say you were in the middle of your performance. So this did happen during the second set. I did not know. I can't read. I did not witness the crime. You must understand. I only know what I heard. Yes, but you must tell us what you were doing in detail.
That's what the cross-examination is for, gyre forehead.
The dude had her in them air vents doing that magic trick.
Our mission is this court is to discern the truth. Our mission in this court is to discern the truth. No obligation, no binding pact may hinder that mission.
Very well. Mr. Justice, you may begin the cross-examination. What are you going to do, Apollo?
I'm gonna find out the truth. She was up above that ceiling for a reason. I just have to get it out of her. Okay, I'm just gonna tell you because I won't be here for another 2 hours.
Cross-examination above the ceiling. Hold on, let me see something.
Really?
Yes, I was above the ceiling when I heard the voice. I'll just go through the statements. I had heard there was a small window there before. It was in the middle of my performance. I had no time to report what I had heard. As to why I was there, I cannot say. Let me see. I was bound to secrecy on this matter. Let me see.
Nope.
Do I press her?
Nope. It's the fourth one. No! You heard the gunshots during the second set, during your performance. You're quite sure?
Yes. Why would I fib about the time? Why didn't you tell us this was yesterday? No one asked me. I thought you all knew. Ugh. I told you Makai was not the killer. I told you this many times.
Yes, you did. But you never told us why.
I am sorry. I was not able to speak of it.
Unable or unwilling.
She's not talking to Apollo. What do we do?
We'll just have to prove it ourselves. As long as she is bound by the pact of silence, she won't talk. But if I can prove why she was up there, she'll have to admit it.
But how are you going to do that? She was singing on the stage, Apollo. She couldn't have been up above the ceiling too.
Yes, she could. I've got a theory as to why too. And maybe I've got the evidence to prove it. Now you've got the evidence to prove it. Go back. I'm trying to get my mac and cheese, y'all. I gotta get off the stream.
Really? This here?
It's your favorite song. Oh, sing it for us again, Mom.
Whatever.
Objection!
Let me roar. Truth be told, the reason for your presence above that ceiling is quite clear. Especially when you consider what happened during your performance.
What happened?
Yes, it's all right here on this video.
You wraps all around me. Now to the air I fly. Woo, woo.
Yes,
Burning on in my heart. Fire.
why they do this? Why they do this?
Burn my love away, all the way.
That's shame.
Like a bullet of love fire. Take my life away, all the way. Guitar, guitar.
We can stop now.
Together to the sky.
Yeah, I'm with guitar. As we can see, the Mirror was clearly not on stage for her entire performance.
Oh,
though it sounds me to be so realistic. Lemuroir is incapable of actually vanishing, let alone teleportation. So, the only explanation is that she was hidden from view.
No, I think's not. Look, y'all don't want me to sing for real.
She gonna get the quadruple golden buzzer. And during that time, she moved to the back of the forum.
Apollo,
What, Trucy?
it's not nice to reveal a magician's secret. It's against the rules.
Well, I'm a lawyer. I'm not supposed to be nice.
This is all very fascinating, but how is it possible? There is only 20 seconds between when she disappears and reappears. She couldn't have moved that fast. Is something wrong, Prosecutor Gavin?
This was his concert, his show. He knows how the illusion was performed.
Aha!
He's just realizing his own oversight. Let's look at the cross-section diagram again. Here, we can trace a route through the ceiling. It goes from the stage through the backstage to the rear of the forum.
Okay, I see those two things. What is that on the taller thing? Is that the stage where she was?
Yeah,
And what is that T-looking thing here?
that's like when she reappears.
Ah, and ah.
Recall Lemuroir's testimony from yesterday.
I was on my way from the stage to the backstage exit. There was something like a little window there. That's how I saw it. She went from the stage to the backstage exit. A perfect description of the route above the ceiling.
Lemuroir knew of this because of reporting the illusion. But she wasn't the only one who knew.
Ah, okay. That's why she reappeared at. The long thing. Okay.
What? Just now in the lobby, Makai told me something. I know of eye-opening vent. I can leave stage and backstage. He said that? Oh, were you not informed, Prosecutor Gavin? I knew about the Vanishing Act, of course. Yet, I had no idea that route would be used. Why didn't that magician tell me?
Magicians only reveal details of their acts on a need-to-know basis. They're the bread and butter of a magician's life, you know?
Which is why he bound Lemuroir to secrecy. Well, Lemuroir?
I am impressed, Mr. Attorney. Makai was right about you. So, what does this mean? Are you saying you used the route above the ceiling? I did. Well, that's that, but I'm still a little confused.
Why is that, Your Honor?
As I said before, there was very little time between when she disappeared and when she reappeared. 20 seconds, tops. How could she do it so fast? Especially if she stopped to hear the shooter's voice.
That's a good question.
Can the witness explain this to the court? I cannot. Very well, Mr. Justice.
Yes?
It's all up to you. Do your thing.
What thing, Your Honor?
You need to explain how the Lemuroir was able to teleport like she did. Or I'm throwing your case out with the bathwater.
Ugh. Why do I get picked on? It's Lemuroir who isn't going along with the program here.
As I have stated before, I am not at liberty to speak of the illusion that night in detail. Then you'll just have to tell us what you can. We'll hear your testimony on this. Mr. Justice, it will be your job to writing the truth out of her.
Writing.
Or ring, rather. Yes, if you would, please.
Right. I feel like a student before finals.
Good luck, Apollo. This is the communicator on her ear. Testimony, the big illusion.
Final one.
I followed the route exactly as I was instructed. There is an emergency exit in the backstage where a stagehand waited. From there, one can enter the forum on the opposite side from the stage. The plan was for me to move there in 2 minutes. I was on my way when I heard the voice. 2 minutes, you say? The mystery deepens.
I suppose it was too much to hope that the judge would come up with something.
It's just my curiosity. Take it away, Mr. Justice.
Right, Your Honor. All I have to do is find a contradiction between what Leroy is saying and what we can see plainly in the video.
I figured it out already. I'm a magician after all.
Well, tell me.
Not a chance. I can't reveal another magician's secret. Come on.
Hey, you're supposed to be on my side here.
Cross-examination. The big illusion. I followed the route exactly as I was instructed. Should I go on or?
Yes, go, keep going.
You want me
Don't
to
hold,
cross-examine?
no, I'm trying to get out.
There is an emergency exit in the backstage where a stagehand waited. From there, one can enter the forum on the opposite side from the stage. The plan was for me to move there in 2 minutes. Is that the contradiction?
Yeah, pressure on that one. Oh man, my back. 2 minutes?
Yes, it can be done in 1 minute if you are running.
Running? In that cramped, dark tunnel above the ceiling?
Haha, Mr. Attorney, have you forgotten? Dark or lit, it makes no difference to me.
Ah, that's true, but...
So you're saying that on the night of the concert, you made the trip in 2 minutes? Yes, though I nearly didn't make it in time. You see, I stopped halfway.
Leroy disappears on the video for 20 seconds. But she says she made the trip in 2 minutes. How?
If you want my professional opinion, I bet the answer's right there in that video. Well, Mr. Justice, perhaps you have some evidence for us. Something that can explain why the discrepancy between the video and her testimony.
Ugh. Evidence explain the discrepancy?
I guess, present evidence.
Yeah. There's one piece of evidence that explains the discrepancy between video and testimony.
That videotape?
Francisco Von Karma.
Talking about this?
From hit game Ace Attorney 2.
Why would that have to do with anything?
It's hers.
Ooh.
Leroy, do you happen to remember this brooch?
She can't see.
Yeah, she can't see. We got a jerk. That's messed up, Apollo. We got a jerk. Do you remember this? What are you talking about?
Aha, the brooch. We saw that yesterday, did we not?
It was found at the scene, Your Honor. And you're bringing this up now, why? I thought we had already determined when that was dropped. So did I, but we hadn't. Huh? Take another look at the video. These DS models right here. Here, you can see she's wearing the brooch.
So she is.
Let's look a bit later.
What? The brooch is gone.
What? Yes. The brooch disappeared in that short space of 20 seconds. And it takes a full minute to run from the stage to the backstage. Which means there can be only one explanation. The Lemire we see before the vanishing act and the Lemire we see after. Or two different people!
What?
The brooch was found on the floor at the crime scene. And not just on the floor, but on the floor directly beneath the air vent. Lemire, tell me, did you drop the brooch on your way from the stage to the backstage? At the very moment you witnessed the crime?
Yes, I think I did. Order, Prosecutor Gavin.
From your expression, I gather you had no idea this was the case there, Judge. I, of course, knew about it.
What?
Don't get me wrong, I wasn't hiding it. It just never occurred to me that the switch and the shooting took place at the same time. So, I was right? There was a switch? There was. Just before the stage's tower rose, the mirror was replaced.
While we're on the subject, just who was the replacement Lemire?
Why, the man behind the illusion, Valiant Grammar. It was Grammary? That's quite the illusion, but I still don't get one thing.
Yes.
The switch happened before the tower rose, correct? So you weren't on the stage. But the fake Lemire is still singing, and she's pretty good.
That's true. Come on, Apollo. That's an easy one. They were just playing a recording.
The Gaviner's on some kind of air guitar band, Frolin.
Oh, you mean I'm wrong?
When we play a show live, we play live, no recordings.
They had their headset.
Perhaps you can explain, Lemire?
Very well. Do the thing. Yes, do tell and add it to your testimony. I had to keep singing even while I moved.
The contradiction between oh my god skill issue, also Lemire's testimony in the video. Unraveling an illusion can't be so different from solving a normal case, right?
Sorry, Apollo, I'm not telling, not even if you make those puppy dog eyes or faces, whatever.
Fine. Mr. Right, whoop her.
I pressed the wrong button, y'all. I supposed to press her on that one. I had to keep singing even while I moved.
You were singing?
Yes. Mr. Gavin expressed a dislike for recordings, so I used this.
Wait, so you were singing the whole time? Even when you were crawling above the ceiling towards the backstage?
Why should it matter where I sing when everywhere I go it's the same darkness? But if you were singing while you were walking, that's right. When the shooter and victim have heard, she was singing right over their heads after all.
That is right. Are you sure? You'd have to be pretty hard of hearing to miss someone singing in the ceiling. Once again, you come back to the state of the crime scene. What state?
I know what he means. That old speaker, Apollo.
The speaker? The speaker was playing at the time of the murder.
Ah, that's for monitoring the stage from this room. Monitoring? It pipes in a real-time feed from the stage microphones. Useful for you knowing when your set is coming up.
Satisfied? That dressing room was fitted with a large speaker playing a direct feed from the stage.
Well, they didn't hear her.
My request, actually. So Lemire was singing in the ceiling. Sounded just like Lemuroy singing over the speaker.
Ingenious, her voice was hidden by her voice. Ah,
Lemuroy?
I have just remembered something. Do tell. When I heard the noise, the gunshots, yes, it startled me, so I stopped singing. What? I forgot the words I was supposed to sing.
The song stopped?
Thankfully, it was the very beginning of the second verse, so not many would notice.
Forehead! That mixing board I lent you. Where is it? The mixing... Huh?
That machine, Apollo, the one that breaks music into tracks.
Oh, this! I'd completely forgotten about it. Let's take a listen.
Sugar.
Stop!
On the night, your embrace. You stole away the keys.
That's 4 red buzzers. You're out.
I held on to so tight. Pleasure with a fleeting melody.
Security? The song does not stop. Oh my god. The song does stop there.
It does. I must have missed it.
Look at the lyric sheet at the top of the second verse. See where it says pleasure, pleasure? Now listen again.
Let me listen to this.
Look at Makai.
See, pleasure. Does it say pleasure, pleasure? This is evidence indeed. I believe we are guilty of making a terrible mistake. You said don't stop, Gang Queen 81.
The crime didn't happen during the third set. It happened during the second, during Lemuroy's ballet.
If that is true, then no one on stage during the second set could have been the shooter.
Which means that Darian Crescent could have done it. He wasn't on stage for the second set.
Uh-oh.
Well, Prosecutor Gavin? Fascinating. Huh? I don't believe I've ever seen a trial turned around quite so thoroughly. Yet one problem remains.
What's that, Prosecutor Gavin?
Their forehead's theory does have a certain kind of logic to it. Yet it's entirely based upon Lemuroy's testimony.
Yes, is there a problem with this?
Well, it's quite simple, though it pains me to say it. What if she is fibbing to protect the defendant?
Objection!
But you have no proof! All I'm saying is that the truth is yet unclear. Until we hear directly from the man himself.
The man? You don't mean?
Yes. Though he is a friend and a band member, Darian Crescent must take the stand. I see no other way.
As someone with a new perspective on the case.
As a suspect, to be frank. Finally, the rat's coming out of his hole. And I'm ready to catch him. Darian Crescent, get ready for justice!
This is as good a time. Why do you talk like that?
He's old.
This is as good a time as many to pause for a brief recess.
Ready?
The prosecution will summon the witness. Have him here and ready by the time we begin.
I'm the last man who needs to be reminded of what his duties are.
Very well, court is adjourned for a 15 minutes recess. Anyway.
Finally!
Yeah, he want his mac and cheese, y'all.
I want my mac and cheese.
All right, it's getting interesting, you guys. What y'all think about that?
I still think Apollo and Pearls did it. Like, Pearls had the plan. She came up with the idea. Apollo was the dude who did it.
Really? Look, y'all, I had accidentally hit the wrong button last night. Anyway, so I appreciate you all for watching. All right, yeah, it's getting interesting. So I guess we'll talk to him. It's gonna be a 2-day trial. So the next episode will be a trial as well.
Yep.
All right, so we'll see you
And
guys.
that'll be the end.
It'll be the end?
Yep.
They don't have any more investigations?
Oh, wait. No, that's the end of this case.
I'm just saying, like, for the case, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we'll do that on the next one. We had Dave Stanfield. He made the stream on time, you guys. Granddaddy Otaku, Game Clean 81. Yeah, everyone else that's watching as well. I appreciate you all for watching. And if you're watching it, if you're liking what you see and you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, I appreciate if you go ahead and subscribe for me. Also, if you don't mind hitting that like button for me, I'd appreciate it. I always hit the mic when I do that. But anyway, I will talk to y'all on the next one. You all have a wonderful rest of your evening and good night.